Okay, happy St. Patrick's Day, and today's talk is what about there was like so many things that came up today. Okay, you have to end thinking. How do I do that? Well, when you catch yourself thinking, um, watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts. And then you know, oh, we're thinking again. So if you've got concerns about anything at all, your concerns are thinking going on in your head. If you've got thinking going on in your head, your job is to say, thinking is going on in here. And that's all you need to do. You just have to catch when thinking is going on. Now, for anyone who's new to my channel, why am this sounds crazy because, the first thing they taught us at school is you got to think, and you got to learn critical thinking in high school. In other words, you have to be able to think about what's being presented to you and, ask, is it valid? And, is there an agenda behind it? Ask all your who, what, where, when, why kind of questions about the subject. Well, I'm not that kind of a teacher. I'm a Zen teacher. Zen is, it's not talking, it's not thinking. How can I possibly live without thinking? That's a good question. Perfectly fine. Better than if you think. You've got to raise your vibration, raise your consciousness, because higher consciousness is not about thinking. Higher consciousness is silent. It is you observing. That's what you do as the awareness in the body. You observe the feelings that are coming to you through your senses. And if you do have thinking, you observe your thinking and you label it. This is thinking. Does it make the thinking go away? No, but you caught yourself, and you're training your mind to recognize when it's thinking. So how am I going to plan my day? You don't plan your day. You change your whole operating system. It's like, that's what it is. You're changing out your operating system from being a thinking-based operating system to a no-thought operating system of higher consciousness. And you do that through meditation. Because through meditation, you will recognize, you might write it down on a piece of paper. Go ahead, pause this video, and write it down on a piece of paper. Why do you want no thinking? Because if you're not thinking and if you have a quiet mind, then you don't need to weigh pros and cons on every subject. You don't have to do who, what, where, when, why, and how. Because higher consciousness doesn't require it. Higher consciousness is it gives you what needs to be done, what needs to be said. It doesn't go through your head and you think about what you're going to say. You just talk when your body starts to talk and it starts to say things, and you're going to be sometimes amazed that, I didn't know my body was going to say this. So then you start listening to what you're saying, and it's not thinking in your head. You hear your voice box moving, and you hear the words coming out of your mouth. And you're watching, and you're sometimes you're in great astonishment. I can't believe I just said that. That's the way it works. So it's not boring. It's not thinking thoughts in your head. Why doesn't higher consciousness need thoughts? It's a higher field of consciousness than thinking thoughts. Now, in the background, higher consciousness is just never going to be able to explain this fully to you. But if you remember, from time to time I talk about synchronicity. Synchronicity is coincidences. It's an organizing principle. And when you are not thinking and higher consciousness is running you, other people who are not thinking, higher consciousness is running them. And it's a great dance because higher consciousness knows where you are and what you're doing and what you have, and the same for the other people. And everything is organized by the higher consciousness. So a higher consciousness doesn't need to think about whether I need to go to the movie today or go wash the car. If higher consciousness wants you to go out, you'll find that your body gets up off the couch and goes out the door and gets in your car, backs out your driveway and drives, and where it drives is up to higher consciousness. But it knows it's not a random drive. It knows where you are, and it's sending you where it needs you to go. And if you come home and the car didn't get washed, you don't worry about it. That's just the way it is. Now, if you got somebody else who is got a thinking mind and criticizes you for not washing the car because you turned it over to higher consciousness and higher consciousness didn't clean the car, then you don't have to worry about that either. Because higher consciousness may have you say something to this other person, the appropriate thing that needs to be said, if something needs to be said, or it may have you turn around, walk away, go down the basement or go to your room, go for a walk, get back in the car and go someplace else. You have to be able to trust in higher consciousness. And it's basically a letting go of control. Because your ego mind is the one that is complaining. That is what you're hearing in your head. That's the one who is always complaining. Ego mind complains. I don't know what's going on. So you have to keep telling your ego mind, you'll give it a nickname, Igor the Ego. Igor, thank you for pointing it out that we didn't wash the car. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's it. So, If you're feeling like worries about other people and how they're going to look upon you because you're meditating and you're working towards having no mind, your mind is still there. It means no thought. If there's worry there, it's your ego that's worried about it. The ego loves to worry. So you say, thank you, ego. I recognize that you're worrying. I know that's what you do. Hopefully at some point you're going to figure it out that higher consciousness has got us covered. So sit back and relax. The ego is going to keep asking you questions. How long is it going to take before the mind goes silent? How long before higher consciousness is going to feed me? Maybe it missed something, I think you should go upstairs and double check, that you made the bed, or ego mind will drive you nuts with these questions. You have to just say, thank you, Igor. I recognize that you have a concern. We're going to turn it over to higher consciousness. And you just have to train your ego to let go of control and let go of worry. That's how it works. That's how you go develop higher mind. Thanks for watching. Please share, subscribe, and if you've got more questions, ask yourself, is it ego asking these questions? And if it's ego, you got to say, ego, we answered these questions already, and you're asking them again. We're training ourselves to let go of control and turning it to higher consciousness. Remember? Maybe you think it's not being nice to your ego to keep reprimanding it and tell it, we turned it over to higher consciousness. And you're feeling like bad because, ego keeps saying, you don't like me anymore. What am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm useless. I helped you all that time to run your life, and now you're saying, I'm not needed anymore. Ego is having a pity party. So you say to Igor, you're having a pity party. In other words, just relax. Relax, Igor. It's easier for you. Now, what I want you to do, Igor, is to just relax. Just relax. You haven't relaxed all these years when you ran the show. You worried about every little thing. And then you worried about people judging you. You can relax now. If someone outside of us criticizes us, then higher consciousness will deal with it. You can relax. Chill. You deserve a vacation from running the show. So relax.